Namaste, hello and welcome back to another video on Hamsavahini Vajraasthra. I'm Awhona. In today's video, I'm going to share a few of my thoughts on a recent Korean drama series which I just recently watched, which is called The King The Eternal Monarch. So this video is not going to be about books, but it's going to be about a few of my thoughts on this particular drama series. Now, as we all know, we are nearing the start dates for Koreadathon 2022, which will start from the 7th of March and will continue till the 13th of March. And I do have an ambitious TBR for it because I will be participating in it. And we do have life challenges wherein we can watch some Korean movies or drama series, etc. So I decided to start the life challenges before so that I can at least get 1 or 2 life challenges, because I will be reading during the week when Koreadathon happens, so I won't be watching any of the movies or the TV series. So I ended up watching this, and initially I thought that it was just a romantic comedy or a deep romance, as I would like to put it, but then it happened to be much more intriguing than that, and there was quite a mathematical equation, which is what intrigued me more, and I'm here to talk about it, so do please join me further in this video. So now let's come down to the series itself. Now, my objective is to motivate you to watch this series because it's absolutely intriguing. I learned a lot about Korean literature, about Korean mythology, especially mythology, and Korean folk tales, which I actually ended up researching on because of the foundation on which this particular series is based on, and I learned a lot and I absolutely loved it. And I have been trying to film this particular video, and I ended up recording for more than 1 hour where I kept rambling about it. So what I've done is, to keep it short, I have penned down some of my thoughts in front of me, and I'll be referring, or I'll be sticking to them, because otherwise I'll end up telling the entire series. So I would like you to watch it as well, which is my primary objective. So I will be referring to what I have written or penned down so that I can keep it short. So this is a 2020 released fantasy series with a dominating concept of parallel universes and time travel, all bound together with a romantic subplot. So initially when you watch the trailer, it will look like it's a romance, but the romance is just what binds it together. The actual core element is a Korean folktale, and it has mythology in it. It's got parallel universes, mathematical equations, everything that a scientific mind would really like. So this has been written by Kim Eun-sook, and it has been directed by Baek Sang-hoon, Ji-hun, and Eun-chae. And now I do really apologize, my pronunciations may not be correct, but I will try and list it in the video over here so that you can actually see them. Now, this fantasy series is based on an ancient Korean folktale and mythology, and this is that of a mythical flute called the Manpasig Jiok. And this legendary bamboo flute is believed to have magical powers. So first, it stays only with the ruler of the land. Second, it comes from the sea dragon king. And third, it calms the it comes 1,000 winds, which probably will be affecting the kingdom in question, and also it blows away whatever mishaps or let's say sorrows which are present or which are hovering over a kingdom. It has the power to do that. And lastly, it grants eternity to the owner of this flute, because it contains within itself the entire power of infinity as well as zero, all combined together in one flute. So the owner of this will be able to travel parallel universes in multiple dimensions. Now, when I talk about the owner of this particular flute has to be a king, because the flute in itself originated to aid the king to help his kingdom to bring peace and to bring solace, as well as unite the kingdom together. So now let's come around to the concept of parallel universes in this particular series. Now, the concept of parallel universes here is that of individuals with the same faces and same personalities leading different lives according to the permutations and combinations in each of these universes, which means one could do very well in a particular universe and be exactly the opposite in the next universe or the next parallel dimension. And this is all dependent upon the choices which have been made by the individual, as well as the permutations and combinations in that universe's fabric. So our story initially focuses on two of these parallel universes. One is called the Kingdom of Korea, and I would be calling it the Kingdom for short. And this has a ruling monarch, and it is undivided Korea. Now, the other parallel universe is that of the Republic of Korea, which I would like to call the Republic for short, and it's divided into North and South Korea with two separate ruling governments. Now, our story begins in the kingdom where we have the ruling monarch, Emperor Lee Ho, who is being murdered by his half-brother, His Imperial Highness Lilim, who, being born of the king's concubine, could not ascend to the throne directly. Now, this half-brother Lilim is more interested in acquiring eternal power, which comes from the legendary flute, the Manpasik Jok, which is in possession of the ruling Emperor Lee Ho, and which at this particular Manpasik Jok would grant Lilim for eternity to be invincible, and therefore it will render upon him the authority to the throne for time immemorial. So that is his aim. However, this traitor, half-brother Lilim, is assassinating, while he's assassinating the emperor, his nephew Lee Gon, who is just 8 years old and the emperor's son and the true heir to the throne, walks into the castle's battlefield because he starts hearing the musical lament of this Manpasik Jyo, which is calling onto him. Now, Lee Gon witnesses the utter ruthlessness with which his traitor uncle Lilim murders his father, and he tries to stop him by slashing the very flute which calls upon him to the scene, and the Manpasik Jok, our magical and mythical flute, is thus slashed into two. So this enrages the traitor and Lilim, and he tries to finish off his nephew, but a mysterious dark figure appears from nowhere and shoots Lilim's assassin squad, and Lilim barely manages to escape with just half of that mythical flute, or half the end of the mythical flute, the Manpasik Jok, and the other half remains with this 8-year-old nephew Lee Gon, who barely manages to survive, but he is absolutely shocked and exhausted after this encounter, and this child tries to grab onto the dark figure who had tried to save him and eliminate or kill Lee Gon, kill Lilim, but then instead of grabbing him, what comes into his hands is ID, a police ID from a different world of a police officer called Lieutenant Jong Ta-yul. So after the death of the emperor, Lee Gon ascends to the throne, and he is busy fulfilling his first duties of lamenting the loss of the emperor and the passing away of the emperor's soul. And during this time, we have the traitor Lilim, who tries to ensure that he can get some of the people from the Kingdom of Korea into a parallel universe which he has discovered called the Republic of Korea, and he tries to persuade the parents of a few children that they will have a brilliant future, and they will probably be in a very good world, and they will be brought up very well in a parallel universe, provided that their parents serve him as his people. And he also does a lot of things, and he tries to usher some people from the Kingdom of Korea to the Republic of Korea, which is our parallel universe. And there are a lot of things which happen because he has got just one half of the Manpasik joke, so he has only the end, say infinity's end, so he can travel the world. So there is this bamboo forest in which there are these two pillars, and that there are cracks in the pillar whenever the bearer of the Manpasik joke comes in front of it, and then the crack appears and they can pass on to the next realm or the parallel universe, which happens to be the Republic of Korea. Now as Lee Gon grows up, the caretaker, or the lady who brings up Lee Gon tries to conceal the other half of the Manpasik joke, which is with Lee Gon, into a whip, which is forever with him, and he tries to guard it with his life. And one day the king tries to explore how he will probably pass over to the other world, and so he sees that he tries to pass over and go to the Republic of Korea, and this brings us to our parallel universe. Now the parallel coexistent universe over here is the Republic of Korea, as I had mentioned before, which I would be calling the Republic for short. And here we have two police officers, detectives, Lieutenant Jung Ta-yul and Kang Shin-jae from the Violent Crimes Squad 3 of the National Police Agency located at Jogno. Now these two detectives are almost childhood buddies, and Lieutenant Jung Tae-yul's father runs a Taekwondo center where both of them learned the Taekwondo arts, and they ended up in the police forces as detectives serving their country, as well as they are team partners. Now along with them they have Eun-sook on their team, who is a junior serving his mandatory military duties in the National Police Agency, and is a jolly and fun-loving person with a pair of cute twin siblings who are a decade junior to him. And Eun-sook helps his parents by taking care of his younger siblings while he completes his mandatory duties in the police agency and awaits the day he would be discharged from them. Now coincidentally, what happens is that the ID which Lee Gon had pulled from the dark figure who had saved him belongs to Lieutenant Jung Ta-yul, and also the king's bodyguard, that is Captain Joe, has the same face, and probably not the same personality, but the same face as Eun-sook. So we do start seeing the parallel universes as well as the similar personalities and same faces, and the story takes off from here, wherein we have the a king visiting Lieutenant Jung Ta-yul, and he is mesmerized, and he finally meets her in person, and he's absolutely mystified with her. And Lieutenant Jung Ta-yul is completely taken aback as to how this person knows who he is, and he's a person who's come out of nowhere in the Republic of Korea. He does not know any rules, he has no ID proof, and he's not registered anywhere. He has no certificates about him, and there is no identity proof. And even though the king starts telling the truth about himself, that he is from the Kingdom of Korea, which is a parallel universe, but he is mocked at initially by Lieutenant Jung Ta-yul, but later she realizes that no, it is absolutely weird, because whenever she tries to search for his fingerprints as well as search for some sort of ID, it comes out non-existent. So the sort of things which the king has, like the buttons on his coat, which are from a different universe, and they're absolutely precious. They get him a lot of money. He manages to stay in the Republic of Korea and learn about the ways, and he is looked upon as an utter idiot. But then when left in Jong Ta-yul, after some time, trusts the king, and the king takes her across the parallel universe to the kingdom of Korea, where she learns that yes, this is absolutely true, there is a parallel universe. And then she sees the exact copy of her colleague Eun-sook in Captain Joe, and although they are different, but they do have the same face, and so she starts believing in them, and then the story takes off from here. There are a lot of complications and twists and turns which I absolutely loved. And what fired up the entire series is the fact that the king turns out to be a time traveler, and he keeps going back in time to try and stop Lee from getting the entire Man Pasik joke in his hand, and he tries to stop the slashing of the Man Pasik joke in hope that he will get the entire thing in his hand. But unfortunately it initially falls in the hand of Lee Lim, and then he has to finish off Lee Lim and stop Lee Lim somehow, so that the Man Pasik joke does not fall into the wrong hands. So after acquiring the Man Pasik joke, the story takes a completely different turn, and the entire universe starts convoluting into different timelines and different patterns. And honestly speaking, I had watched another German series which did deal with timelines, which is called The Dark, and I'll try and put it up over here as well so that you can have a look at it. I believe it's still available on Netflix, and this is where the main protagonist keeps on visiting the different timelines and tries to keep changing the events so that things could proceed to the next parallel universe in a different timeline in a proper way, but they have to keep doing that. So I found the two stories a bit similar, but yes, they were quite different, because here in the King, the Eternal Monarch, we have the parallel universes wherein the king becomes a time traveler, wherein he has to keep traveling back and forth for approximately 4 months in a space called I'm not too sure what it is called, but it's a null void space wherein there is where time actually freezes over there. So there is no seed which grows, there is no sound, there is no light, no air, no nothing. It is just where there is static, and it's vacuum, absolutely still. So he has to pass on through that particular place for 4 months, and that 4 months has to stretch over from 1994. He has to go on to 2022 and then back again, and then stop Lee Lim, and that is how this entire story goes. So it's absolutely wonderful. I love the series. I loved the casting as well. The actors were brilliant, and the entire setting of the or the look which they had come out with was absolutely wonderful. And I would definitely encourage everybody to watch this series. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I loved it, and I hope that you all liked this video, and you will watch it. That's my hope, actually, if you have not watched it, that is. And if you love time travel, as well as there's a romantic subplot in it, because the romance is what binds and keeps the king coming back to Jong Ta-yul, and Jong Ta-yul tries to get back to the king, so they have to keep following each other in different universes. So that's what this whole story is about, and this brings us to the end of this video, of course, and I've been rambling for quite some time, and I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Do please let me know if you watched it and what your thoughts were, if you did, and if you haven't, if you would like to watch it, and I would love to talk to you about it in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and also hit the bell icon for instant notifications for the rest of the videos which are coming in the forthcoming week. So I'll be wrapping up this video over here, so I'll see you soon again next week. and I'll be back with another video. So till then, take care, have a good reading week ahead, and namaste.